Now, you said you were also a supervisor of the communication course. What is the communication course?
It's a series of drills that Hubbard wrote, which are called TRs. TRs, which stands for either training routine or training regimen. And there's TR0 through TR4 is taught in the basic course. And then in the advanced course, there was TR6 through 9. 5 had been dropped out.
Who were you supervising?
The new people. The communications course was the first course that people were invited to take, and probably still is. It's always been the basic workhorse of introductory services.
And you said that the third thing was you were a professional Dianetics auditor. What does that mean?
People would be interested in receiving Dianetic auditing, and I did the Dianetic auditing on them.
Now, can you classify the type of people you would be doing Dianetic auditing on? Were they staff members? Were they members of the franchise, or were they general public?
Objection as to the form.
There was one staff member. I had two what we call PCs, or pre-clears. One was a staff member and one was a paying public at the time.
And that's who you performed the Dianetics auditing with?
Yes.
And what is Dianetics auditing?
Basically, the subject of Dianetics auditing is bodily somatics, aches and pains. You get the person to contact and deal with what are called mental image pictures through what was then a series of very fixed commands where they get these pictures in relationship to the particular sensation or feeling that they have. And this is done through a series of incidents that take them down through time until the person feels better. That's about the shortest definition I can give.
At that time, in 2.5 years at the Davis franchise, were you permitted to give Dianetics auditing to someone who did not join the franchise?
Objection as to the form.
No, it was either somebody who was staff or somebody who paid for it.
Could a member of the public come in and pay for this auditing?
Yes, and I had one of those.
So they didn't have to join the franchise or sign up to something in order to obtain auditing?
No.
I just want to get a cup of coffee. I'll take a minute break.
Take a minute, sure.
It's 11:49, we're back on.
Were there any pre-qualifications for a member of the general public that they had to go through before they could be audited?
No, it was preferred that they take a communications course, but it wasn't required.
And they had to pay for the auditing?
Objection as to the form.
Yes.
Did they have to pay for the communications course?
Yes.
Objection as to the form. It's also been asked and answered as well.
What was the purpose, if you can tell us, of this franchise?
Objection as to the form.
To make money.
Was the franchise out there to recruit members to join the franchise, or just to sell things?
Objection as to the form.
Well, it couldn't just get people to join the franchise because you could only make so much money and pay. It was there to get new recruits into Scientology and to make money while doing that.
Well, excuse me. Objection, move to strike. The answer is non-responsive.
Explain what you mean the purpose was to get new recruits into Scientology.
Objection as to the form.
Well, what I mean by that is you want people to buy books, you want them to come in and buy auditing, take services, get their what we call the grades.
I moved to strike for lack of foundation.
How do you know this?
Because that's what we were instructed to do and told what to do, and that's what it was all about.
Well, Did the person, before they could buy the courses or buy the auditing, did they have to sign a contract and become a member of the franchise?
Objection as to the form.
No.
Okay. And your 2.5 years at the Davis franchise, was there any teaching or courses on Dianetics or Scientology being a religion?
Objection as to the form.
No.
So, what happened after the 2.5 years at the Davis franchise?
Objection as to the form. It calls for a narrative.
I was invited to join the Guardian's office in San Francisco.
Okay. What? You remember month and year for that?
That would have been February, it was January, February of 1971.
Okay, first, tell us what you mean by the Guardian's office in San Francisco.
Objection as to the form.
Well, I didn't know what it was, really. Somebody had come from it was called the Assistant Guardian's Office in San Francisco, or the AG. The AG had come to Davis once on some sort of business, and I had spoken with him and became intrigued. And at the time, I was becoming very active in getting media for the franchise. And so they saw that I was capable of working with media. They needed somebody to be the PR in the San Francisco GO. So that's what I was invited to fill.
Move to strike, not responding to the question.
Tell me about your experience in public relations at the Davis franchise.
Okay. Objection. Form. Calls for a narrative.
Well, given my background already, that I'd been doing that kind of work before, and even while I was in college, I was an activist in the civil rights and the anti-war movement, so we knew about media. I just got interested one day in just getting a story on the franchise, so I got one in the local paper, and went and got another one, and pretty soon another one, and pretty soon I was just getting stories in Sacramento, in Davis, the Yolo County paper. So it became very easy for me to do, and I thought everybody could get media that easily.
Was this something that you did on your own?
Excuse me. Move to strike the answer because it's not responsive to the question, and it's a narrative.
In going out and getting media coverage for this Davis franchise, is this something you did on your own initiative, or were you asked to do that?
Objection is to the form.
Just my own initiative.
Okay, what was the purpose?
I couldn't hear the answer.
Own initiative.
What was your purpose to go out and get media coverage?
Objection is to the form.
Well, it turned out that I liked, I guess I was getting back to where I just liked dealing with media, that even though I had stopped doing politics, I just enjoyed it. I just enjoyed it.
Now, you said that someone came from the Assisted Guardian's office in San Francisco. What is the Assisted, if I said it right, Assisted Guardian's office?
That is the Department 20 within the Church of Scientology, San Francisco organization.
And you use the letters AG. What does that mean?
It stands for Assistant Guardian.
Assistant?
Assistant.
Mr. Young,
And
you got your hands on your mouth and you
Yeah.
really can't hear you.
Okay.
yeah, and try to keep focus towards the camera.